Good day, everyone. I am back. I know I've taken a little time off on the previous week. I have not really been posting or saying much, and I just needed a break. So, have you ever felt like you just needed time away or free, or just needed to get a moment to yourself? Or maybe your usual routine was just tiring you out, or you felt like I'm just burnt out and I'm not motivated and I can't move forward and I can't push through this studying or the school or the courses I'm taking or trying to pass this NCLEX. Have you ever felt like that? So many times in life, I think we come across some stumbling blocks sometimes and we may feel like I can't move forward. So I am here today to give you your motivational Monday. I know it's a little later in the day, but that's okay. It's still time to just kind of sit back, relax, and think about where you are. Think about where you want to go, and think about your goals in life. So I'm taking today out just to share with you what I do to stay motivated, and staying motivated to me is, I think, a big part of it for a lot of us is understanding your why. And for me, my why is looking in that future me, or looking at that future self and thinking back, what did I do yesterday to get to where I am today? So many times I'll have days where I'm a little lazy and I don't feel like doing anything, and it feels good to not do anything. But then you get to that day that you're needing to do stuff, and you're like, man, all those days went by and I didn't get anything done. And sometimes you have that. But what I recommend and suggest you do is find something that encourages you. It can be a friend, it can be a person, it can be family, it can be a book, it can be maybe every day you have a motivational speech or a video. You can go on YouTube and search videos and audio. Just have something. For me, it's the Bible. For me, it's scripture. And for me, I like motivational quotes. I love collecting quotes that people have come up with, and some of them are really good and really make you think. And so, my encouragement to you today is coming from Hebrews. That's right, the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 25. And verse 24 talks about how we should consider one another, pushing each other on toward love and good deeds. But verse 25 specifically, I enjoy because it's really a call to persevere and to continue in faith. And if you joined our masterclass today, you know that that was part of the motivation for today. It was faith makes all things possible and love makes all things easy. But I think the one we used was faith makes all things possible, but not necessarily easy. But love can make sometimes make things easy, just because if you love doing what you do, it's a little easier to persevere. It's a little easier to continue the faith. Have faith and belief and trust that what you're doing today is going to benefit you soon in the future. All right. One day you're going to pass that NCLEX. One day you're going to get your first nursing job. One day you're going to be doing what you've always dreamed of doing. So I'm going to read that verse to you. It's not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing. Sometimes we give up, right? We don't want to meet. We don't want to do any group study. We don't want to meet with our tutor. We don't want to meet with ourselves some days. Some days it's just hard to get out that bed. So, going back to Hebrews chapter 10, verse 25, not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. Now, of course, this is biblically speaking, the day of approaching, but I also took that into context with my own life, how continuing the goal, continuing the mission, not stopping what I'm doing, not taking too many breaks. And even that little break I took, I think was way too long for me. I took off too much time. My family was even saying, you should continue your webinars. You shouldn't take a break. You got to persevere. You should continue doing your videos. You got to persevere. And later on, I felt kind of sad. felt kind of guilty that I took so long to get back into everything. So, but there are going to be days and going to be times that you need to recuperate and regenerate and rest. All right. So, and I also thought about as we're meeting together in our group study, it encourages each other. We should be reaching out to each other and saying something and saying, hey, what does anybody think about this? Or what do you think about that? Because group study can be very beneficial when you have a more controlled and focused group study. It's a little different than when we were in school. Sometimes we would have study groups, but we would talk half the time. We really didn't get much studying done. So, but when you're in a more organized group study and with having like a tutor or an instructor like myself kind of guide you through it, we're really focused for that 1 hour on studying and reviewing content and questions and testing strategies. So, all the more as you see the day approaching, that day that's getting closer and closer to your test date, that day that's getting closer and closer to you becoming the RN or LPN that you are destined to become. So just think, just know that you want to persevere, you want to continue the faith, you want to stay focused and stay coming to your group meetings, coming to your tutor sessions. Don't give up because I see so many people, they'll get halfway through and they'll give up. And I get it. Things happen in life. Sometimes things happen and we just can't help it and we have to stop. That's same thing for me. I'm human. And there are times and days that I have to reschedule or I have to stop, but do all you can to check on each other and to stay accountable and say, hey, where's so and so, did they pass their exam, or did you pass, or are you coming to group study? Encourage your friends and loved ones and those who are battling through this thing with you. Have them come in and come on and get on board. Recommend that they get on board and also continue the fight, continue the group meeting. Now, the question is another good question to answer you is a study group something good? And like I said, that idea of studying in a group environment is usually helpful because someone would usually ask a question or say something or respond in a way that no one else may have been thinking of, even myself. And that helps not only your instructor or your tutor or your guide or your mentor, but it also helps everybody. It helps all the students. It helps everyone who is in the group. So I think group study is something that can work as long as it is organized. So by all means, continue your way of studying, but adding group study is also a good thing to do. If you're the type of learner who needs to be alone to study in order to master content, then a study group alone may not help, but you want to have maybe a combination of both. Have your study time set aside, especially for NCLEX. You need study time alone, but I think in combination with a group study, then that will also be a good option. Once you're comfortable with content, or maybe once you get some guidance in the group study, then you could venture off on your own and then do your have your study time. So the goal is that you master the content. So joining a study group can help reinforce that content and questions. So study groups can be very helpful also for nursing students when you're preparing for an exam. But whoever is in the study group, there needs to be a kind of a team effort on everybody. That study team needs to be motivated, and you need to stay on track with regard to the goal of the group. Have an agenda. What are we going to do today when we get together and study? A study group can easily get off track and waste time discussing outside of study issues like we did when I was in nursing school. We didn't always get together and really have a productive study. So be sure to join a study group that has the same goals as you, and be sure that your study partners have maybe personalities that are compatible with yours. Sometimes that helps more, I think, if you're studying in person. Being that we're doing Zoom meetings, sometimes that doesn't really matter. We all just work together and do what we can to help meet our group goals. Size of the study group for me, we're anywhere from 2, 3, 5, 10. I'm trying to do groups of 10 as far as the class, but there are days that we do a webinar group study where I've had almost 20 people on. So I don't like really huge groups, but just small settings. I think I can do better with answering everyone's question and making sure everyone is following along. So every group member needs to come to the study time prepared to participate. I always set goals, I set expectations, and I want you to also have that goal established and work towards achieving the study goal within the study time. So the current master class that we're doing every day will have something that is due the following day. So that way you can take some time that day to get some questions done. All right, so each group member should ask a task with regard to the contribution or role that they will take as a member of the group. Maybe someone can break down a certain question for us. Maybe someone else can post a question that they saw on TikTok or wherever and see what response we get. So we've had situations like that, and that was very helpful for our study group on the TNC Tutoring and Service study group. For nursing students, for example, if you have contents for a scheduled exam like your med surge or maybe your coronary artery disease, or you're in cardio and you're studying MI and heart failure, then each group member should accept a topic area or a part of it for presentation at the study group session. That's always very helpful that each person take on part of the study. And then at the end of each study session, maybe everyone can decide when the next group session will be, what the goals for the session will be, and then each member's assignment. So also, I would like to incorporate in our study group, just maybe everyone can have a opportunity to voice any concerns or have a forum or discussion or verbalize what they think we can do to improve our study group. So, study groups are made of individuals. Each individual is a part of the team. And if each team member contributes to the study session, then the team will succeed. So, we work together towards the goal of doing well, passing your nursing exam or passing that NCLEX. And that's the goal that you want to strive for. And staying motivated. I think what the main important thing is, as a study group, we can encourage each other to stay motivated. All right, so I hope today's Motivational Monday has encouraged you today. So don't give up. Continue meeting together. Continue encouraging good habits and good deeds to stay strong and not give up on studying for your NCLEX. Keep encouraging one another, all the more as you see the day or whatever day that you think is approaching. Maybe it's your final exam is approaching. Maybe it is your NCLEX day is approaching. But continue to encourage one another. Stay motivated. Don't give up and keep studying. You can do this.